Today is Tuesday, November 29th of 2022, and happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving and to everyone who wished me a happy Thanksgiving. I have not taken my medication in like almost a week, and I realized that what was actually making me lethargic and tired and uh, semi-depressed was the qelbree. And let me tell you how I came to that conclusion. Um, I I accidentally stopped taking the medication for like 2 or 3 days because I forgot. So I tend to do that a lot with my ADHD. I have inattentive ADHD, and I tend to forget things even if I set an alarm. I don't know. I just forgot. And for like 3 days straight, I didn't take the qelbree or the trintellix. Um, and then I wasn't feeling as lethargic or sleepy or tired. And so I noticed that, right? And I was like, well, that's interesting. So I thought, okay, so let me just restart the medication, and I'm just going to I'm going to try the trintellix by itself and see if I feel sleepy and lethargic and tired, like I was feeling a couple days ago when I was taking my medication, which I attributed it to the seasonal depression thing because I have noticed, like I mentioned in the previous video, that the last couple months of the year, my depression tends to get worse. And it's probably because the days are shorter, the sun's not out for very long. And my body just kind of adjusts to it. My brain, I don't know, could be seasonal depression, could just be something that happens, right? So when I was having a really hard time focusing, and I didn't have energy to do anything, and I was just so tired all day long. I felt like I could sleep. I was taking daily naps on a daily basis, and I felt like I could sleep all day long and wake up and still be tired. I kind of attributed that to the seasonal depression thing. But then when I went 3 days without taking either medication, and then I realized that I wasn't feeling as tired and as lethargic, I decided to restart just on the trintellix to see if that made a difference. And I'll tell you, it did make me a little bit nauseous, but didn't make me tired. So based on that, I have concluded that it's probably the qelbree that's making me so tired and fatigued and lethargic. Could just be that the dose is too high. I did bring it up with my therapist, and she said it could be that the dose that she started you on is just too high, which kind of doesn't make sense to me because why would a higher dose make you more lethargic? But then again, fatigue and tiredness, drowsiness is one of the side effects that's one of the common side effects listed for qelbree. So I'm on 150 milligrams. So I don't see my psychiatrist for another week or so. Um, but I decided, because I'm finishing up my first semester of graduate school and I'm about to start with my final projects and final exam and all that, I don't want to be feeling fatigued and exhausted and lethargic when I'm in the middle of trying to wrap up the semester. So I decided, because of that, I would just take a break from my medication until I meet with my psychiatrist again, and maybe I don't know if I'm going to be staying on qelbree. I might just ask her to lower the dose and see how I do on like a lower dose, so maybe from 150 to 50 milligrams, or she might just put me on a different medication altogether. In other news, I'm going to try TMS. So I've mentioned this in a couple previous videos, transcranial magnetic stimulation. So they put little nodes on your head, right? And they kind of send little electrical pulses to your brain to help stimulate the parts of your brain that may be causing the depression, or may be not as active as they should be. And that is said to help with people who have treatment medication resistant depression, which I feel like I am because I have, if you've been following my mental health journey, I've tried a bunch of medications, right? And one of the requirements for your insurance to be able to approve the TMS treatment is that you've tried at least 3 different medications for depression and none of them have worked out for you. And so I did. I listed them. I've tried Zoloft. I'm currently on Trintellix. I've tried Wellbutrin. I've tried Prestique. I think I've talked about them and reviewed them all in my channel if you want to check those out. And all of them have either had some weird side effects or they've made me gain a lot of weight or they just haven't worked for me. So that's one of the requirements here in the US, at least where I am, to have your health insurance cover the TMS treatment. And the other requirement is that you've been attending talk therapy, or so that you've been seeing a therapist for at least something like 3 months, which I have. I've been seeing a therapist for over 2 years. It hasn't always been the same therapist, but I've been in counseling for a really long time. And I guess that would qualify my depression as treatment resistant depression. And I'm excited to try the TMS because, frankly, I'm tired of trying all these different combinations of medications and dealing with all the side effects. And so TMS is something completely new and different. And so I'm excited to see if maybe it does end up working for me. I think it's something like 35 treatments. So I'll be going in for about 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, to have them put the little nodes on my skull. So they said first they're going to map out my brain and see where they have to target and what the strength or the frequency of the stimulation has to be. I don't know all the technical details about it really, but it's something different, right? I've tried talk therapy, I've tried medication, I'm trying them both. And I may still continue to take medication after the TMS, but I'm always open to trying new treatment methods and excited about the possibilities that this might work out. Look at my bangs. So I like got bangs because like one thing that I've always been really self-conscious about is my giant forehead, right? So I was like, I'm just gonna, cut my hair and get bangs. But now, like, I don't know, they're wild. Um, anyway, so yeah, been off the trintellix for depression. I'm sorry, I realized I didn't like introduce myself very well for those of you who are new and just watching this video or visiting my channel for the first time. I have cerebral palsy, mild cerebral palsy. I have an attentive ADHD, major depressive disorder, and generalized anxiety disorders. And I have tried a bunch of different medication, and I've reviewed and talked about them all in my channel if you want to check them out. I am an SLP graduate student. I just started in August, like late August. That was the start of the semester, and the first semester is ending mid December. So I'm doing a part time online speech language pathology master's program, which is 3 years long because it's part time. I work part time as a reading specialist. I'm also a graphic designer, and I would say the things that affect me the most, I mean, really everything, right? So, anxiety makes it, I have always had social anxiety. I feel very uncomfortable in new social situations. I prefer to stay in my room or in my office and just binge watch my shows on Netflix and eat junk food, which, by the way, I have been gaining so much weight because I think I've been super stressed out and I've been kind of comfort eating. And that's one of the things that the psychiatrist, when I did my initial intake appointment for the TMS, which was actually today, she asked me, like, how is your depression affecting you, your anxiety? How is your appetite? do you eat too much and too little? For some people, it's too little, and for me, lately, it's been too much. Way too much junk food, way too many crepes, way too many hot Cheetos and chips and donuts and all kinds of things. Uh, all of this unhealthy comfort junk food that just temporarily comforts me, but I know that in the long run, it's very, very bad for me. As for my sleep, I have been having a hard time falling asleep. So you may notice I have these giant bags under my eyes and I look very tired. As for my concentration, I have been struggling to get things done, whether that's assignments. I had like 2 weeks to finish a very important report for one of my SLP graduate classes, and I just finished it last night in a hurry, last minute, which is typical of people who have ADHD. And then my office is super disorganized, and um, right now, I feel like I'm procrastinating because I should be doing homework, but I'm not. Instead, I'm here on YouTube making this video. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and try to get to that. But I really, really struggle with task initiation. So that's another thing about people with ADHD. We struggle with transitioning from one task to another, and we struggle with task and initiation. So even if it's something that I know will only take 5 minutes, it takes me so much longer to just gather up the motivation and energy to just get started on that task. But so yeah, I'm gonna end this video here because it's getting long. I will come back. I'm sorry if you guys have commented and I haven't responded. I will get to that today, hopefully. It's not that, and I want you to know that I do read all your comments and everything, and I appreciate you guys watching the videos and taking the time to comment. It's just I always tell myself I'm going to respond, and then I think I respond, and then apparently I don't. Apparently I just respond in my head. And now I'm rambling, so I will see you guys later.